afternoon, South Africa. Lovely to be back. Welcome to it. This is Afternoon Express. We're live right now on SABC3. My name is Bonang Matheba. Thank you very much for joining us. If you are a young entrepreneur, you're absolutely going to love today's show. We've got a special guest by the name of Mrs. Nambiar, who's an expert in entrepreneurship and also helps young women become successful businesswomen. We are also going to be chatting about a young youth program called Girl Hype. So if you want to get your fingers into that entrepreneur bucket, you must make sure that you don't go anywhere. Of course, we do love hearing from you at Afternoon Chat on Twitter, #Afternoon Express, all right? Keep the conversation going. A little bit later, we're also going to be chatting to psychologist Stefan Blom, and we're chatting relationships. He's going to be telling us about how do you know whether a relationship is going to last from the beginning? All that and more. And then a little bit later, Clem is in the kitchen. We're cooking up something very, very delicious. But right now, let me get straight into our first guest, Yogavelli. Welcome to Afternoon Express. Lovely to meet you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Before I start my conversation with you, I mean, you have such an incredible resume, right? She has more than 20 years experience in the social entrepreneurship space and has done incredible amount of work for women's rights and entrepreneurship development. She's the program director of the 10,000 Women Initiative and also heads the Enterprise Development Academy at GIBBS, where close to 70% of entrepreneurs are women. And she's here today to share her wealth of knowledge. Welcome, Yogavelli.
Thank you so much for
That's
having
a great resume. Absolutely stunning. Let's start chatting about the 10,000 Women Initiative. When did it start? What inspired it? And what is it all about?
So this is a Goldman Sachs initiative, and it was a 5-year project in which 10,000 women from across the world, from developing countries, were going to be helped with a business education and support program. So when they came to South Africa, they partnered with the Gordon Institute of Business Science, which is our business school of the University of Pretoria. And here we provide fully paid for, sponsored business education and support to women. So in South Africa, we helped 330 women who would never have dreamed of entering a business school with this kind of intervention, so that they can learn how to make their businesses more profitable, more efficient, more sustainable.
That's incredible. You also started the World Court, I have to say that it has got a lot of W's. World Court of Women Against War. For peace.
Yes,
that's what
right.
it is.
Yes,
a groundbreaking international conference where you had women talking about, you know, their past experiences. Again, for anybody that doesn't know what that is about, take us through that journey in that particular conference and why the need to want to start something like that.
So this was a long while ago, about 15, 16 years ago, that we actually arranged this conference. And it was because women face all kinds of human rights violations. And so we defined war not as army tankers and soldiers, etc., but the human rights violations that are committed against women in the name of support, comfort, and the right of men. And so basically this conference brought together women from 45 different developing nations to talk about the human rights violations they'd experienced. Everything from trafficking, dowry deaths, devadasis, witch killings, female genital mutilation, comfort women in the Philippines, the most horrific things that you can imagine happening. And I thought it was amazing that the human brain has been employed to think up all these innovative ways to actually subjugate and use violence against women. And so for 3 days, women testified about what they had experienced or what had been experienced by their loved ones. And for us to really understand that these are not things that you read about in a book. These are not something that you see in a movie. These are real things happening in the world around us.
That is... Oof. Can we change the subject?
Yes.
Oh, please. And you're an expert when it comes to entrepreneurship, but how are women in South Africa faring? You know, women entrepreneurs, how well are they doing?
So there is a good story and there is a negative story or a story that isn't as good as it could be. So women are doing better. There are more women entering into this space of entrepreneurship. Unfortunately, as a country, we're not very supportive of or encouraging of entrepreneurship in general, even more so when it comes to women. So the environment is not very enabling.
Why is that, Yogavelli?
Well, I think, you know, there's several reasons. I think that many people have been brought up with the idea that getting a job is the way to go. It's the route to success. And so entrepreneurship is viewed almost on the same basis as being unemployed. I've had entrepreneurial students tell me that when they say to someone that I'm an entrepreneur, people actually say to them, so basically you're unemployed, you know? And so it's not seen as something in which you can triumph and you can do really well in. And unfortunately, our society is not very forgiving of failure. And to be an entrepreneur, you have to be able to stare in the face of failure, be able to get up, be able to do it all again. And when you have a society that is not encouraging of that, you are less likely to do it. So if something goes wrong, or if the risk seems too much, you're not going to enter into that. You would rather take the path more traveled and
you know,
less risky.
But are we seeing more women entrepreneurs, you know, versus men? And also on top of that, what kind of challenges are the women facing when you put them against their male counterparts?
So we are seeing more women entrepreneurs, but on a necessity base, not as much in terms of innovation-driven entrepreneurship. So when I say necessity-based, it's if I can't get a job, then I'm going to have to start something because I need to support my family or I have, you know, certain priorities. What happens with necessity-based entrepreneurship, though, is that it's not inclined or promoting growth because you're doing what you have to do on a survival basis. And what we actually need more of is growth-oriented entrepreneurship. It's the entrepreneurship that's driven by innovation, by sensing a need in the market and being able to go towards that. So we do see more women entrepreneurs, but on lower, more informal, unregistered levels. And there, 75% of the informal sector is women entrepreneurs. But as the business size grows or the sophistication of the business grows, then it tapers off. And then you see more male entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And in terms of the comparison between male entrepreneurs and female entrepreneurs, I think I often say that female entrepreneurs are probably more driven. Just because you're facing a more challenging context. And when you are faced with challenge, you try to rise above that. And so they do very well. However, they still are working within a very inhibiting environment.
Got you.
And that needs to change.
So let's get into, you know, some of the factors that one has to consider when starting a business or becoming an entrepreneur. And any common mistakes that women make as well?
Yeah, so I think women try to do too much. They,
naturally.
Because we've got the multitasking down to find out. But with a business, you need focus. You need to understand your market. You need to understand their needs. You need to focus in on one thing. You need to create a niche or a differentiator. And women try to spread their risk. So they try to get into lots of different things. And then what happens with that is your attention is diverted and you're trying to do too many things and obviously too many balls to juggle, something's going to fall. And I think what men do well is that focus, is honing in on one thing. Also the confidence. You know, women just from how they're brought up and what they're taught to be like, you know, to not be confrontational, to not just go out and grab an opportunity, but to rather sort of sit back. Our entire society, our upbringings, our cultures, etc., all work against women when they're trying to start a business.
Got you.
Because that requires you to jump in there, to be almost aggressive or assertive, which women tend to shy away from.
All right.
So confidence is a huge issue for women entrepreneurs.
Okay, well, we're going to have this conversation until, you know, the end of the show. I'm so very excited that you're here. I've got so many questions, and I think everybody at home does too. So tweet us, use the official hashtag Afternoon Chat and Afternoon Express. But stay right where you are. We've got more inspiration coming up after the break with a woman who is running programs that teach young ladies computer and coding skills, right? Listen to this, to help them make it in this technology-driven world. All of that at the age of 21. And we're cooking in the kitchen with Chef Clem, so stay right there. We'll be back after this.
Express yourself. Express yourself.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. We're live on SABC3 and I'm in the kitchen with Chef Clem. Ready to eat? What are we making today?
We're going to make a Fiorelli pasta with mascarpone and some zucchini. It's also foreign.
So Italian.
It's the only foreign language I know.
Speak a little foreign. All right. So the Fiorelli is a type of pasta.
It is. It's kind of got its name from the frills on the end of it, kind of like a flamenco's dress.
Very clever.
There we go.
All right.
But that helps us because it's those frills that actually hold onto the sauce. Right,
Perfect.
so let's get started.
Let's do it.
So we're talking all spring vegetables because it's spring right now. So bring on the zucchini, bring on the fresh tomatoes, and just get cooking. So we normally used to this, right?
Yeah.
Normal slices.
Yeah.
We're gonna switch it up just to get some more texture in your food.
Oh, look at you.
It's just like fun, like create more texture with your food.
Yeah, I was already going in my head. All right, that looks so cool.
Nothing wrong with doing the old like slice, but this is so cool. It's just great, just like a million different sides of that can get crisp. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
More surfaces, more crisp.
There we go.
That's what we need.
So I've got some extra virgin olive oil in a pan. I don't mind cooking with extra virgin olive oil. It's amazing. So the baby marrow goes in. And our fresh, we got some exotic tomatoes here today.
Those colors look insane.
And again, eating in spring or eating in general is all about color and texture.
Color, absolutely.
So that's going to start cooking off beautifully.
For how long?
What you want to do is, okay, I don't mind my zucchini being a little crunchy. How about you? Would you like to cook through more?
Cook through more.
Okay, so you would let it go for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Otherwise, like 5 minutes and you'll be so good.
Okay. Oh.
See, I'm just showing off.
You did that on purpose.
So
are you not going to season that? No, not seasoning yet.
I'm about to stretch over now. I've got some salt and some pepper. And just add it to it. Also, you don't want to add it in the beginning. The trick is when you do that, a lot of the natural moisture comes out of it. So you end up boiling your vegetables instead of frying it. So let it first brown and then season your vegetables. Cool, and then I'm gonna go with some fresh basil. I love basil. Cooked off slightly, the flavor develops so amazingly. And then to cut this, just tear that in there. That goes in. A little bit of chili. I like chili.
That looks so yum.
And
Chili, lots of chili. I'm with chili. Chili, add more. Yes, perfect.
So that's in there. Again, give it a bit of a toss. Bring all those flavors together.
It smells so good.
It smells so good. And then, of course, you've got to have a little bit of garlic in there because it can't be Italian if it doesn't have garlic.
That's a lot of garlic.
You're going on a date tonight?
No.
No,
I'll be all right.
You'll be all right. So again, garlic's in there. Flavors coming together brilliantly. And as soon as it does come all together, you grab your mixing bowl.
This one here?
The big one.
The big one.
And this is why we're actually here today, for these amazing mascarpone pots from Woolworths.
Yeah.
There's a whole new range of them. I'm using the pesto version today with a sweet tomato in there. So again, half the job is done for us. We've got those extra flavors in there.
But other than today, what would you use this mascarpone?
Okay.
In dips, with bread? You serve it on a platter?
You know, and that's why I kind of brought these guys over here.
Oh, clever.
Because it's concert season. We're all going to be out. We're going to be at like these amazing parks, having some amazing summer snacks.
Picnics.
Picnics.
Picnics. It's a great picnic snack.
It is.
So you take a crostini and then rub some...
And you dunk it.
And you dunk it. Can I dunk it?
Go for it.
While you do that?
I'm also going to be using the crostini as kind of like a, instead of parmesan that you top on the end of your pasta at the end, I'm going to be using the crostini for that. But first, so mascarpone goes into a big mixing bowl.
It's so good. It's got a sweetness to it.
That's the sweet tomato that's in there.
Aha!
Yeah, big flavor. So in with our vegetables.
Wow.
Those will become delicious and creamy. And because of the heat that's on the vegetables at the moment, it slightly melts the mascarpone even more.
Okay.
As you can see, it's kind of like it's kind of gone a bit runny, and that's what you want. That's your sauce made. So if you can pass the Fiorelli.
Do you want me to plonk it in there?
Go for it.
Obviously, you'd let it... you'd cook it first.
The Fiorelli cooks
Yes.
off first. Yeah, and it's also so quick. And the recipe is amazing. It's got that authentic, like, chew to the pasta that you must have. Got a beautiful platter over here.
I mean, have you ever in your life seen anything more divine? It smells so good. So while Clem does that, do remember that if you want the ingredients and, of course, the link to the recipe, all you need to do is SMS the keyword crunch to 33650. Each SMS is going to cost you R1.50 and no free SMSs apply. And are we going to garnish, make it look a
Yes.
pretty
I think we're going to add that crunch.
crunch?
So here comes the crostini, like I said.
Yes.
It's going to crush these over.
Yes.
And that's it. You got some basil there?
Can I do the...
Go for it.
Ta-da!
Done. Portion for one.
No, it's summer.
It's summer.
But in case you missed anything right now, here's a quick recap. That looks absolutely incredible. We'll be back in the kitchen a little bit later, but right now I'm back in the lounge. And as you remember, we spoke earlier on to entrepreneurship expert Yogavelli Nambiar, who said that one of the most important things for women to learn when it comes to starting a business is to find a niche. And what such young woman, Thoko Miya from Cape Town, is a program director of a non-profit organization called Girl Hype. She's here today to teach us more about this wonderful organization. Welcome to Afternoon Express.
Thank you
All
so
this
much.
fabness. And you're not even 22.
I'm actually 23.
23? I thought you were 21.
I'm 23.
You look
I was
21.
Really?
Girl,
I'll take that. I was 21 when I started.
Aha.
And now I'm 23.
So let's get into why you started this incredible NGO, Girl Hype. What inspired it? When did you start it? Why did you start it?
Okay, well, I grew up a little bit of a techie, a little bit of a geek. And growing up, I kind of felt like that I didn't have those opportunities that I wanted to have, and identified that predominantly it was because I was a girl. It was kind of like the boys' club, and even then it was kind of like particular boys' club, and it was really hard to get into. So yeah, this is kind of where I felt like a lot of girls my age fitted into this bracket of not being in the club because of our gender. And yeah, so Girl Hype for me was kind of an addressing that problem. And also in the industry of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and maths, there's currently a huge depreciation of women. There's just, the representation is so low. You'll find in a university class, there'll be maybe 5 girls to 30 guys.
And why is that?
I think the main thing is access to resources at a young age. So when you're young, you know, the traditional gifting, traditional kind of identification, and that sort of roles which are given to kids.
Yeah.
You know, is that the guys will do technology.
Yes, it's a guy's thing, right?
It seems like that. That's the way it's portrayed, but it's really not. It's really not.
So, of all the things you could do in technology, why specifically programming, you know, and coding? And which communities do you see, you know, this happening the most?
Okay, specifically programming and coding, because in my opinion, when you do go into those tech, and also research has shown, when you do go into those tech-related industries, you kind of find women will be doing the directing, or women will be doing the administrative kind of work, whereas the guys will be doing the technical stuff. So we're trying to shift that. We're trying to say, let the girls do the technical work, let the girls do the technical
the coding, the programming, the languaging, the actual implementation, and let's take over that industry. Let's take over that niche. I am so passionate about it.
Absolutely. I can
I
see
think
it in your
it's so
eyes.
important.
Tell me about Technovation. Tell me about that competition. Look at that smile. What is that all about?
Okay, Technovation is my love. Okay, and Technovation is an international app and entrepreneurship, technology and entrepreneurship. So basically, it's the challenge is to find a problem in your community, to solve that problem by creating a mobile app which solves that problem, and then the surrounding enterprise of that. So create a startup around that app. And it's directed, the cool thing about it is it's directed at middle school and high school girls. So it's extremely challenging from start to finish. It usually runs over a period of 12 weeks, and it's extremely challenging, but it's so worthwhile. And if you win, then you get a chance to go pitch your idea to a panel of judges in San Francisco. And this year we made it to the semi-finals. So I think next year we'll definitely be in the finals. I was in San Francisco this year for the final, and it was really awesome to be in Silicon Valley and to be with groups of women from around the world.
That
And
is amazing. I'm actually even getting goosebumps. So would that be, what has been the proudest moment for you and Girl Hype since its inception?
I think the proudest moment was being recognized by Technovation as a master educator. So I'm now a master educator in the industry of technology, and I'm in social enterprise education. So, I mean, that was really proud for me. And to go to Silicon Valley and to actually meet my mentors and to meet some of the top women in STEM and in technology from companies like Twitter, Symantec, Google, to actually meet like vice presidents. That was top.
That is
so I'm really proud. That was recently in July.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went in July.
Yeah, those are the pictures that everybody's seeing back
Yes,
home.
those are the
Thoko,
pictures.
what is your dream, you know, for the African woman, for the African girl, when it comes to science, engineering, medicine, maths?
Yeah.
What do you wish for us?
So, I mean, for me, what my movement for Girl Hype is to have reached 100,000 girls by 2020. And so far, I'm on about 15,000. So I'm making progress.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. And I just like to see more. I mean, from when I've started, the girls that I started with 3 years ago are now going into studying computer science.
That's amazing.
They're going into studying engineering. And these are girls that came and had trouble, sometimes had trouble with using basic computer programs. You know, a lot of them were some of them were studying technology, IT at school, some of them weren't. So it was a wide range. And now I've got this group of confident young women who are going into technology and STEM-related industries, and I think that's fabulous.
That you are fabulous. I'm looking at you thinking,
Thank
goodness
you.
me. I don't feel, Thoko, take me with you. You are so fabulous. You are
thank you
so
much, Bonang. That's so
inspiring.
amazing.
You are doing such incredible work.
Thank
you
you.
so much for coming and sharing your story.
It's
I'm
a
sure,
pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody at home absolutely loved that. Show her some love, man. Do tweet us at Afternoon Chat. Use our official hashtag Afternoon Express. Well, I hope you've been inspired by all the ladies out there to explore your inner entrepreneur and start a business. But after the break, we change gears and we move on to love and relationships. In particular, how can we tell from the start that a relationship is going to last? Well, I'll give you the 411 after this. Stay with me.
Express yourself. Express yourself.
Welcome back to the show. You're watching Afternoon Express on SABC3. Now, we've loved sharing the Revlon Color Stay campaign with you, sharing fabulous makeup looks and inside love tips from some of SA's coolest bloggers and, of course, influencers. Recently, I described the feeling of when you met your love match. Check it out. Well, I think you've met your love match when, your heart beats very fast, when you feel all giddy inside, when you feel light, headed, when you feel like you're floating on cloud 9. Literally, it's like an out-of-body experience, and that's what love does. It makes you feel light, it makes you feel beautiful, it makes you feel confident. And, what better way to accentuate all those incredible feelings than, with some really fantastic makeup from Revlon. And, that's the thing about love. It just takes you away. You want to look beautiful. And the thing is, you already are beautiful. It just makes you feel prettier. You feel like bouncing off the walls. It's just something that you can't explain, because once you've really found your true love and your true match, you will know, because it's going to be different. It's going to be unique. You're going to start seeing and experiencing new things with the person you are, and you become a better person. You glow. You sort of, walk on the skies and on sunshine beams and all of that. So it's quite a great feeling. Yeah, very, very special. Oh, we love love. Oh, yes, we do. Don't miss my final Color Stay makeup tutorial this Thursday. Till then, get all your beauty fix online by following the hashtag LoveSquadSA across all social media platforms. Love is on. But how do you know how on it is, and how do you know if it will last? Today, we're joined by Stefan Blum, psychologist and author of The Truth About Relationships. Welcome to Afternoon Express. Ha ha! I love.
I'm sure you've got lots of questions.
Obsessed. Love this topic. So, Stefan, the first question.
Sure.
How do you know? Do you believe? Is there something? Love at first sight.
Sure.
Is it true? Does it exist, or is it infatuation?
Well, I'm a crazy romantic, so I love the experience of falling in love, the madness of falling in love. But if it's really love, I don't really think so. I think it's about attraction, it's about connecting with somebody strongly, and we call that falling in love. But love takes time it takes time to grow a sense of love. So
got you.
I don't think love is an instant thing. If you can fall in love with somebody but don't really know them at all, actually.
Really?
Yeah. So.
And with that said, then why are we attracted to some people,
sure,
and not to some others?
It's an interesting thing. I think attraction's very much about your senses. So it's often about what you see, smell, touch, hear. So you look at somebody and you find that person attractive, and so that's one layer of attraction. But there's many layers to it. And so I think when we find somebody attractive, you can speak to somebody and find them really attractive. But if you look at their feet, you might find it unattractive, and that could change the whole picture. So your senses is really a very important part of attraction. That's the one part. And then I think, when I speak to people that's saying, I really find this person attractive, it comes in layers. They find them physically attractive, then they speak to them and they have a connection a mind connection, so they find them intellectually attractive. That's the second layer. But there's layers that we forget about. For some people, that's enough. They think if a person's hot and we can have a conversation, we should date. But I don't think I think we're making a mistake there. I think you should really look at what the person's like emotionally.
I got you.
Because the emotional person, how honest the person is, how they're going to respect you, if they're generous, really will determine the life of that relationship. That's really the important part.
Yes.
Yeah.
Aha, okay. Let's get into this incredible book, The Truth About
Sure.
Relationships. What is it all about? What
Sure.
do you unpack
Okay.
in this? Do we all need this book?
Well, I wanted to write a book that I wish somebody gave me before I started dating or started entering into relationships.
Yes.
And so the book basically consists of two parts. The one thing is really a collection of lessons, 18 years of observing other people in therapy. I've collected certain lessons from them, and that book has got those lessons. So you don't have to go through the pain yourself. You can learn from other people, including my own life. And then secondly, the book is very practical. It's got relationship skills, essential skills for anybody in any relationship, family, friends, and in intimate relationships, really. So that's what the book is about.
Yeah. Let's talk about, timing.
Sure.
When you meet somebody.
Yes.
What stage in their lives
Yes.
do you see sort of like compatibility?
Yes, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I think timing is very important. So, like, for example, in your 20s, your career might be very important. But in your 30s, you might want to have a family, So if you meet somebody in different phases of your life, you might want different things. And that could be quite a disconnect for anybody. So it helps a lot to want the same things at the same point in your life. I think that's quite important. But at the end of the day, no matter how compatible you are, I think if you don't speak with each other with respect, or if you don't take care of each other emotionally, you know, everything falls kind of flat. At the end of the day, you don't need to be hugely compatible in order to have a future. I think a future is really determined by how well you communicate and how well you take care of each other.
And then we build it up.
Of
In
course.
our minds, we
Of course
create
we do. We all do that, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Build it up, tra-la-la.
Absolutely.
How do we know we love them for them
Yeah.
and not for what we want them to be?
That's a very good question. I think, you know, one of the things, including myself, has done is we colour it in with what we want. We look at the potential of somebody, and the potential of somebody is often about happy moments shared, or good times, or when the person is really sweet and nice to you. So we hold on to that, and then we build something out of that. But I always say to people, you have to look at what you've got right now. You can't build a relationship on potential. You've got to build it on right now. And I think change makers, leaders, creative people with imaginations, we love to colour it in and make it into something that
that's
it's
me.
not.
I love love. Oh, Stefan, I love.
It's gonna get you
Fall
into
in love. I
trouble.
just love, and I love.
I hear you.
But, you know, do you believe in the concept of soulmates? Can you be attracted to more than one person in a lifetime? Fall in love more than once?
Yes, absolutely.
Have more than one love match?
Well, I think you can have a soulmate and a friend. I think you can connect with somebody deeply and instantly.
Yes.
No questions asked, no analysis needed. Sometimes you meet somebody and you just feel a connection with them, and it's effortless. And I think we call that soulmates. But just because you have a connection does not mean that you should date this person. I think it goes way beyond just a connection, because you can connect with friends and family and many other people. I think we confuse that soulmate thing, like it means we should have a relationship, you know.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily true.
How do you know if somebody's your soulmate?
I think if somebody, like, for example, if somebody would ask me, Stefan, do you think this is the person for me? I would say definitely not. And maybe it's never a yes, you know, and maybe it's always a no. You don't have to ask me if this person is for you. You should know it without any doubt.
Yes.
And it's a two-way street, you know, it comes from both sides. No analysis needed. You don't need a therapist to ask that question.
I got you.
You should feel it in your heart.
You should feel it in your skin.
You should feel it in every part of your body.
Feel it in your pores. All right.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying.
For more of Stefan's insight today, we're giving away a copy of his book, The Truth About Relationships. To enter, pick up your phone right now and SMS the keyword books to 33650. And remember, SMSs cost R1.50. T's and C's apply and can be found on afternoonexpress.co.za. I have so many questions for him, but we'll be back after this.
Thank you. That's
Express yourself. Express yourself.
Welcome back to the show. Now, KwaZulu-Natal's premier design showcase, the Durban Fashion Fair, went down this past weekend, and what an exciting event it was. Showcasing some of South Africa's top design talent. This weekend's long event is one of the highlights in the Durban social calendar. Now, Jeans, listen to this. They teamed up with the Durban Fashion Fair and sponsored 20 denim jackets to design students who were tasked with customizing the jackets. So today, we're joined by brand manager Katiso Mahoranye. Completely murdered your surname, I apologize. Stylist Boogie My Boy and senior designer for Jeans, Lorraine, to learn more about this initiative. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Katiso, first and foremost, I apologize about that. Tell me why decided to team up with the Durban Fashion Fair, and why the Durban Fashion Fair?
Well, as you know, Ree's a very exciting, energetic and edgy brand, and we're proudly local, so we're always keen and excited to partner with local talent and uplift and inspire. And what better opportunity within the Durban Fashion Fair? And when Greg Wallace approached us, we were just like, well, why not use our much-loved denim jacket? And as you know, in terms of what's happening trend-wise, street-wise, denim is really coming up, and you'll see a lot of designers that are bringing it into fashion and inspiration. So we thought, you know, that was a perfect platform, and also just to get the students to add in their creativity and for them just so that we can see how they interact with our denim jackets. So, and the Durban Fashion Fair, this is their 5th year. So we were just like, I mean, it's an absolute milestone for them. And I mean, it's in Durban, it's coming up, and a lot of people are speaking about it. So we were very excited to partner with them.
Fantastic. And we have a winner, Martin Siankap, who was absolutely incredible. Before I ask you what you loved about him and his design, designs. Let's take a look. Well, just before he got his award, well, after he got his award, this is what he had to say.
I am super, super, super excited. I'm overwhelmed with emotion right now. I honestly really did not see this one coming, but I'm so, so happy to be a part of this amazing initiative and to be actually recognized as one of the creatives who actually came up with one of the most innovative jackets is really an honor and a complete privilege for me. So what I decided is when I did this jacket was I looked at the brand values and I looked at the one value which is authentic. I looked at it from a customer's point of view. A customer who is authentic is a customer who does not follow trends, who basically has a free spirit and who is in complete touch, in touch with themselves. And I took my inspiration based on their values, and that's how I came up with this entire concept.
Congratulations, Martin. That was a beautiful, beautiful design. Now, guys, tell me what you loved. What captured, you know, you specifically and the re-team with Martin's designs?
Well, I mean, Bonang, I think when you had a look at it, I mean, your eyes lit up. And I think with me as well, I was literally blown away. And I was like, this is what, I wasn't really expecting this. And I think it was very creative. He brought in, you know, color palettes in terms of the gold and the detail that went into it. I mean, you know, he added a little bit like of different creative things that went into it, which I think, you know, just stood apart. And it was beyond creative. It was beyond different. It was beyond, I mean, the trend. So that was very exciting. And I think his personality, I mean, you can see in terms of his energy. So that really went into the jacket, and that's what Ree's about. So I think for me, that's what I loved mostly about it, because I saw it and I'm like, this is my brand, exciting, edgy, let's push the limits.
Let's talk about that brand. It's popular, it's loved. Why do you think we're so obsessed with Ree jeans?
Well, it's jeans, it's Ree jeans, and as I mentioned that, you know, it's proudly local, so I think that's also what makes it exciting, and you know, and we're Asian, that's why I think Lorraine is here being a designer. She brings in her flair in terms of what it is that people want out of it, in terms of versatility, different things, you know, keeping up with what's happening, going back, so it's authenticity, I think, is what gets us really excited and what makes it really, really great. But I also I think I want Boogie as well as in Lorraine just to literally like add in terms of what they believe and what they feel about the brand and what gets them excited.
Lorraine, let me start with you. You know, firstly, what do you love about Ree jeans? And secondly, trends. New season, very excited. What are we wearing? What are we looking out for?
Yeah, for summer 16, we've seen silhouettes really sort of loosening up. So silhouettes like the boyfriend are becoming really important, boyfriend jeans, and yeah, just sort of relaxed fits. Another thing that's been coming through quite strongly for summer, which makes a lot of sense, is crops. So crop legs, crop straight legs, crop flares. Yeah, and then as we ramp up into high summer, the short becomes super important. Yeah, I mean, from cheeky little mini shorts to sort of looser fits, the boyfriend shorts important, and a really great mixture between sort of clean washes and really abrased and distressed washes.
Fantastic. And Boogie, you're one of the most celebrated stylists, I think, in the country. You've worked with big names all across, you know, entertainment. How are you wearing jeans? How are you styling your clients? What are we doing this season?
I think the biggest trends that you can look out for in terms of jeans for 2016 and 17, there's a lot of customization coming through. And there are ways that you can do it which are really, really easy. You can do it at home, or you can even start to look out for it when you're shopping. So there are 5 that are really big for me for 2016 and 17. We see the badges coming in, which is the easiest way to do it, just to put on a badge. And that's not permanent, because you just put on your badges and your brooches and you take it off. There's also the iron-on badges, which is a very big trend coming on right now. And that's how you add your own custom flair to something. And then you move on a little bit into DIY. DIY is how you distress your own jeans, how you bleach them at home, which is the second big trend. The third one, you're looking at paints and stencils. And this is how you get that graffiti aesthetic into your denim jackets and your denims and making it look a little bit more street. The fourth thing that you guys can look out for is studs, which I've got on my jeans. Yes, which I've got on my boyfriend jeans, which are from Ree. These are from Woolworths, which I absolutely love. So studs are really big, and it's also another way of you can customize your stuff a little bit more. So studding is a little bit more for your homemaker, the people who like to watch your tutorials online, so you can stud them. And the last trend that I've picked up on is a deconstruction as well as patchwork. So if you have jeans that you've had for a very long time and they're really, really ripped up, so you take other pieces of denim or other fabrics and you patch them up, and it makes them look really, really
That
great.
is so clever.
Yes, or the way you can deconstruct your own denim. You can also remove a pocket from the back and move it to another area. You can fray your jeans at the bottom. You can cut them and start making little holes in other ways. They're really, really easy ways in which you guys can do this. And also go online. There are so many tutorials. So in terms of me and my clients, it's about how do we customize. It's about adding the name to the jacket. Or if we're shooting a music video, we put the logo on, we stencil on some really cool stuff, and that's how we make our stars look extra good this summer.
That is amazing. I think I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna call, girl, I'm gonna call you, Boogie, baby. And you know what I love, just to close it off about denim, it is timeless.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And that's where we are gonna leave it. That's a wrap from the Durban Fashion Fair. Denim, denim, denim. We absolutely can't get enough. Get down to your nearest Woolies for your ultimate denim essentials and maybe create your own customized piece too. After the break, we get sweets in the kitchen with a buttermilk, panna cotta and spiced plums. Perfect for the start of spring. Stay with me.
Express yourself. Express yourself.
Welcome back to the show. In case you just tuned in, just in time for us to get into our second recipe today. In the kitchen right now on Afternoon Express. We're live on SABC3 with Sonia. What are we making?
We're making a panna cotta.
Panna cotta. I see some plums.
We're making some plums to bake and put on top of the panna cotta.
Fantastic. What are the first steps? What ingredients do we
so
need?
we're heating some cream. And we're going to make panna cotta is obviously cooked cream. And following on from Clem's gorgeous, Italian dish, we're going to have an Italian dessert.
So panna cotta is cooked cream.
Exactly, with a bit of sugar in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So a little bit of salati caster, about 80 grams. Okay. And then we're going to put some zest in.
Zesty
some zest. Some nachi zest.
Lemon?
You can, it's nachi, but you can use
Nachi.
orange or lemon. I mean, you can do anything to a panna cotta. Coffee, Earl Grey, you can flavour it with whatever you want.
All right.
I'm just going on the nachis because they're so delicious at the moment, going out of spring. Coming into spring, I mean. Okay, so the cream is heating up, and then we've got some, we set it with gelatine, okay?
Gelatine, because we want it to be a bit solid, like...
Yeah, so,
Like a mould, we want it to set.
So you can turn these guys out into like little shapes. You can actually put them in these guys if you want. And then put the fruit over the top. So we had some nachi juice. We sprinkled over a teaspoon and a bit of gelatine. Okay. So you put it in there it's called sponging. Okay.
What is sponging, Sonia?
Because gelatine powder is like, it's like little granules. It almost looks like yeast, okay?
Yes.
So if you put it straight in there, it gets too hot and it doesn't go anywhere. It just needs to dissolve. So you sponge it first in a little bit of water, and then you take it off in the heat and you pop it in there.
Got you.
You also
Very
get
smart.
Gelatin leaves, just to confuse you. But you need to just sponge in some water.
Okay.
And you can look on the internet which one, I think it's like 2 teaspoons per leaf, but you can Google it.
All right, fantastic.
So we've taken that off the heat, we add the gelatine, and what we want to do is just melt that gelatine off the heat into that cream.
Yeah.
And let it dissolve. And then once that's dissolved, we can add the buttermilk. So normally panna cotta is all cream. And I find it very rich. I don't know
Are you going to put it back on the heat? Or must I
no,
switch it
you
off?
can switch that off for the mo. I'm just going to let it dissolve. If I put heat to it, it won't dissolve nicely. So I don't
even know how to switch off the stove.
Oh, don't worry, sweetheart. Just turn it all the way that way. There we go. Done. Cooking
all right,
101.
okay, just so that we can see, everybody at home can see.
Sorry, so there, you can do it all with cream.
Yeah.
I find it too rich, so I add buttermilk.
Ah.
So it just gives it more of a tang.
Got you.
And it's a little bit lighter.
I love buttermilk.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. There we go. So you can scrap the rest in.
100,000 ways to use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and makes a lovely dressing, makes a lovely pudding.
Yeah.
So,
Rusks.
And some vanilla. Rusks. Okay, a little bit of a teaspoon of vanilla in there. So as I say, if you don't like
Sonia, this looks
it's yum, hey? It's yum.
Girl.
If you don't like the orangey lemony tones, you can make a coffee one or a white chocolate one or a whatever your flavour.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So then what we'll do is once that's all nice and yummy and dissolved, we're going to pour them into some glasses. You can, if you want to, you can serve in a coffee cup or in a.
Do you want me to do this?
Yeah, pour in. Pour in. Lovely. Perfect.
you'll say when.
Done, 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 done. Yep.
You don't
done,
say
done.
when.
And then we're going to move... Sorry. Plums.
Okay.
So we got some plums. We're going to roast them in the oven. So we just pop those on there.
Yeah.
A little bit of sugar.
And then how long does that go in the oven for?
10 minutes. Bit of star anise, some nacho juice.
Yum.
In the oven.
In the oven.
And then we have that.
Fantastic. All right. And then you are going to pour.
Spoon it on top.
Oh, you spoon that
Spoon
on
it
top.
on top.
Oh, Sonia,
And
you
all
know
this
what?
amazing, yummy juice.
That is
Smell that.
just too delish.
Oh, it
There's no
smells amazing.
spoon here. Look at me looking for a spoon.
You can use the big one.
Oh, that smells, the plum smells
Divine.
incredible. Let me try this quickly. How many of us are there? Ooh,
I think
got
we're
lots
5, hey?
of guests
Yeah.
today.
Or do we need to share?
All right, do you remember the recipe? I'll share with you.
Okay.
The recipe is on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. All right, we have to transport these.
Okay, right.
Across there, because we don't have a lot of time. So here we go, here we go, here we go.
Okay, come in
Follow
with that
me,
one.
follow me. And all our guests are sitting here. I mean, don't you love me? Obsessed. Right, amazing, amazing, amazing.
Amazing.
Well, there you go. Dinner is served. Yogavelli, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
I am so inspired by you, Togo, as well, and Sonia
Thank you so
and Clem.
much.
Thank you very, very much. That's it for tonight. Thank you for watching. Back again tomorrow at 5 p.m. on SABC 1, SABC 3. Good night.
Another feel-good production.